I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone, up and at 'em bright and early. I'm all business in my suit. Yeah, I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots. I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for our futures, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call in sick on Mondays when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holidays, sometimes all night long. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. Hey, I'm solid, hey, I'm steady, hey, I'm true down to the core. And I will always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asking me, I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. I'm an American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier.
Good morning. At this time, please stand for the presentation of colors presented by the Westside ROTC cadets, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by the second graders from Foxmill Elementary School, and followed by the national anthem performed by the NHS Saxophone Sextet. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of Nettleton Public Schools and Nettleton High School, we would like to welcome you to our Veterans Day program presented by Nettleton High School East. And I would also like to take the opportunity to extend a heartfelt appreciation to our veterans for their unwavering dedication, sacrifice, service to our nation. Your bravery and commitment have ensured our freedom and security, and for that, we are forever grateful. Thank you for your selfless devotion to our country. Once again, thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your sacrifices.
Thank you, veterans, for keeping America safe.
Thank you for your courage and bravery in your time of serving.
Thank you for serving our country and putting your life on the line. We appreciate all that you did.
We thank you for your sacrifice.
Thank you for fighting for our freedom and keeping our country safe and putting your lives on the line.
Thank you for keeping America safe.
On behalf of all of us at Nettleton, we want to say thank you, veterans. We appreciate everything that you've done for our great nation. Thank you, veterans.
I just want to say thank you to the veterans for their sacrifice and service to our country. We appreciate everything you've done for us.
I'd just like to say a big thank you to all of our veterans, whether you're active or you're retired, no matter what branch that you have served in or are currently serving in. We are so thankful for you, for your service, for your sacrifice, for your willingness to put your life on the line for our country so that we can live in peace and safety. Again, thank you, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you to our veterans who have served our country and who have shown a commitment to the very principles that ensure American exceptions.
To all the veterans out there who have served or who are currently serving, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
I just want to say thank you to all of our veterans for all that they've done for our great nation.
Thank you for your service. God bless our troops.
Thank you for your service in making America great.
Thank you for serving our country.
Hello, veterans. This is Mr. Sims here at Nettleton High School Executive Principal. Just wanted to take the time out to thank you for all your service and all your hard work.
Welcome to Nettleton High School and to our Celebrate Service Veterans Day program, and thank you for attending. Today we want to honor our service members and thank each of you for your service and for the many sacrifices you have made to defend our country. Thinking of the heroes who join us in this group today and those who are here only in spirit, a person can't help but feel awed by the enormity of what we encounter. We stand in the midst of patriots and the family and friends of those who have nobly served. Thank you for answering the call of duty. You have made our armed forces the most respected in the world.
We also want to thank the family members of any service member because we know you have lived through difficult times and often took the heavy load to keep the home fires burning. Thank you for what you've done.
The service members we honor today come from all walks of life, but they all share several fundamental qualities. They possess courage, pride, determination, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity, all qualities needed to serve a cause larger than oneself. Many of them didn't ask to leave their homes to fight on distant battlefields. Many of them didn't even volunteer. They didn't go to war because they loved fighting. They were called to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in extreme times. They rose to a nation's call because they wanted to protect the nation, which has given them and us so much.
Today, our troops continue to make the ultimate sacrifice, and even as we lose troops, more Americans step forward to say, "I'm ready to serve." They follow in the footsteps of generations of fine Americans. Today, we celebrate the Americans, the veterans, for keeping this nation, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you for attending today. God bless you and your families. God bless America, and God bless our troops.
Today, we bow our heads. It is not an easy day. We remember.
We focus our memory on those who served our great nation. Today, we set aside our differences and remember those who gave their life for our freedom.
We remember the brothers and sisters who fought on our behalf while their brothers and sisters prayed for their safe return. We remember the sons and daughters who carried the flag of democracy while their parents placed flags on their lapels and front porches. We remember the dads and moms who stood watch at the door of war while their children stood watch at home.
We remember the husbands and wives who carried the weight of war while their spouses carried a burden of an empty seat at the dinner table.
Each one our brother, each one our sister, each one our daughter, each one our son.
We remember their honor, sacrifice, and courage. We remember that they paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Today we kneel with compassion and love and remember those who fought on our behalf.
We honor those who have fallen in service, and we remember the words of Jesus. No one has a greater love than this, than one that lays down their life for their friends. John 15:13.
Homeward Bound, an American folk song, was written by Marta Keene. Keene wrote this song for a loved one who was embarking upon a new phase of life, to express the soul's yearning for growth and change. Keene describes this piece as finding your true calling in life, knowing that those who love you trust that you will return. Homeward Bound has become a patriotic anthem for soldiers returning home after they spent time away from loved ones, doing their part to serve our country.
sparrows stop their singing. I'll be homeward bound
I walked through a county courthouse square. On a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole is leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat." And I sat down. "Is this the first time you've ever been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "Well, son, I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a little hole in that flag up there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night that Francis Scott Key sat watching it, writing, 'Say, can you see?' And it got a bad rip in New Orleans with Packingham and Jackson tugging at its seams. And she almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on no. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville. She got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee and Beauregard and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low a time or two. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She was with our warriors fighting on the desert sand. She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now they've about quit waving her back here at home. In her own good land here, she's been abused. She's been burned, denied, dishonored, and refused. And the government for which she stands is now scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare, and she's wearing kind of thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in, because she's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up early every single morning. We take her down every night. We don't ever let her touch the ground. We fold her up right. You know, son, on second thought, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that old ragged flag.
Good morning, Raiders, and good morning, veterans. I want to thank all of y'all for taking the time out of your day to come here for this program. My name is Kate Golden, and I'm currently a senior here at Nettleton High School. Throughout my time here, I've continuously heard the word service. What is service? Well, that depends on who you ask. The dictionary definition of service is the action of helping or doing work for someone. Many high school students participating in clubs and organizations would agree with that definition because they are required to get service hours. There is now even a law that requires the current freshman and down to acquire 75 hours of service over 4 years. This type of service benefits society by providing a helping hand to people in need. But ask yourself this question: what does service mean to a veteran? Their definition of service is vastly different from ours because of their experiences. With their own life, veterans have served our country. So to veterans, service is much deeper than the action of helping or doing work for someone. One of the major differences is that their service protects the United States of America. They are not told to get service hours to be able to graduate. They volunteered to serve, giving that much more meaning to veteran service. Service is fighting other countries who want to harm us. Service is spending countless hours on watch to protect their fellow soldiers. Service is spending years away from their own family. Service is putting other civilians' values over their own. Service is putting their lives online in order to provide us the freedom we live in. We will never understand the sacrifices that veterans made and still experience from the results of their service. These men and women serve not only our country, but us, the civilians in the country. They willingly put the value of our lives above their own with no second thought. These veterans have performed the ultimate sacrifice, serving our great nation with their lives. Without their unwavering service, we would not be able to call America the greatest country to ever exist or experience the freedom we live in today. So I urge you, the next time you hear the national anthem, the pledge, or see someone in uniform, think of the service and sacrifices they have endured for you. You mattered to them when they were on the battlefield. You mattered to them when they were fighting for our country. You matter. The least we can do is thank them for their service and be aware of how valuable our time on earth is because someone died for you. Veterans, we thank you for your service.
Country's far too gone, and even claim our fathers got it wrong. But I won't give up on us, and I'll take a stand, 'cause we can overcome. This is not the end. I still believe in us. Oh, America, you're still the land I love. To shine, still cry liberty over evil, over tyranny. Blood poured out for our freedom, and sacrifice it all for this nation. I still believe in us, my America. Our history is full of bravery. Heroes fought for our equality. Now is the time to make peace and forgive our faults, because united we stand, but divided we will fall. I still believe in us, in America. You're still the land I love, though a little bruised up. Stars to shine, still cry liberty over evil, over tyranny. Blood poured out for our freedom, sacrifice it all for this nation. I still believe in us. America, America, God shed His grace on me and crowned my good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. but we gotta heal up. Lady Liberty will always be a sign of hope to the refugee, the immigrant can find escape from oppression to a better place. I still believe in us. I still believe in us. I still believe in us. My America, our America.
I love to ride the ferry when music is so merry. There's a man who plays a concertina on the moonlit upper deck arena. Sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing. Ooh, wow, ooh. Now you're singing with a swing. Sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing. Ooh, wow, ooh. Now you're singing with a swing.
Right. It's my honor to introduce our guest speaker today. Our guest speaker is Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Beaumont. Lieutenant Colonel Beaumont is one of my best friends in the world. We became friends whenever we were young teenagers. In fact, I've loaded up a picture of us back in 1989. That's a picture of me and Stephen. We were, by all accounts, the two coolest guys at the bowling alley that night. But Stephen and I will always be great friends because we know too much about each other, too many stories that we could wreck each other with. Stephen is the son of Connie and the late, great Coach Wayne Beaumont, who coached here at Nettleton and taught science back in the early 1970s. Coach Beaumont, Stephen's father, was a veteran of the Vietnam War and a truly great man who impacted my life in a great way. Stephen grew up in Jonesboro, but he graduated from Truman High School in 1990. So if you talk to him, please don't use any big words. He won't be able to understand them. He graduated from Truman. I'm kidding. I should not be making jokes about Truman. I'm sorry, Stephen. But he did graduate from Truman. He was a three-sport athlete there, a great football player, baseball player, basketball player. He helped lead Truman to their one and only basketball state championship in 1988. He was the valedictorian of his class at Truman. His grade point average was 1.2. And that's the last one. All right, that's the last joke. I'm sorry. He's proud to be a Truman Wildcat. God help him. Anyway, Stephen graduated from Truman and went to college at Arkansas State University, where he graduated in 1994 as a distinguished military graduate. 2 years ago, Arkansas State honored Stephen by inducting him into the ASU Hall of Heroes. That is a tremendous honor, and he is truly a hero. He served our great nation in the global war on terror as a member of the United States Army. He served in Korea, Hungary, and served 2 tours of duty in Iraq as a part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. His military awards are numerous. He was awarded the Bronze Star the Meritorious Service Medal, 5 oak leaf cluster, Army Commendation Model, 3 oak leaf cluster, and so many other awards and commendations that it would take me way too long to stand up here and read them all. So I won't, but just trust me when I say that Lieutenant Colonel Beaumont is a highly decorated soldier who served our nation very well, both as a soldier and as a man who trained our soldiers for action in Iraq and Afghanistan. He retired from the Army in 2015. Today he lives in Fayetteville with his wife, retired U.S. Army Colonel Denise Beaumont. And for those of you keeping score at home, yes, his wife does outrank him. She's a colonel. And Stephen and Denise have 2 children, Tyler and Zach, who has followed in his father's footsteps. Zach is an Army First Lieutenant who is currently serving stationed down on the southern border in the great state of Texas. So Stephen, thank you for being my friend. Thank you for your service to our great nation, and thank you for being here to speak to us today. Let's please give a great big warm welcome to Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Beaumont.
I guess I should say thank you for that, right? But appreciate it, Craig. Good morning. Thank you for attending this Veterans Day celebration, and thanks to Nettleton Public Schools, its administration, the faculty, and the students for this very special tribute for our veterans. I am, and I'm sure all the veterans here are very appreciative of your time and support that have made this program so nice. It's very impressive, and you are doing things right. I'm very humbled and honored to be speaking to you today. I am retired, and I've been retired for a while, but I still break out this old, dusty uniform for special occasions. And talking to such an important group like this meets those requirements. I love being with all my brothers and sisters in arms who have all answered our country's call to defend our country, the Constitution, and our values. When you ask a veteran, why did he join the military? You'll get lots of varying answers. Some will say to pay for school or college. Some will say they felt a sense of duty to serve. Some got drafted. But regardless of their answers, I believe all will say that they are proud to have served, and all are honored to wear the title veteran, myself included. When I get asked why I joined, it starts with a way to pay for school. But I have to include my family history. I remember one of my teenage birthdays. My dad looked at the calendar and said he could have retired if he would have stayed in the military. My dad was a Vietnam veteran. My grandfather on my dad's side was a World War II veteran and retired from the Army. Then I married my college and ROTC sweetheart. She served in the Army also, and we served together in the Army for a combined 48 years of service. My wife's dad is a Vietnam veteran and avid supporter of the American Legion. His father was also a World War II veteran. So as you can tell, the military runs in our family, which makes me very proud that I can say the tradition continues. Our youngest son is now serving in the Army at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I'm very proud of our family's military history, and I'm very proud to be a veteran. I spent a little over 20 years in the Army and had countless memorable and happy memories of my time while serving, which I'm sure most of you love to reminisce about. Mine include the first time one of my soldiers asked me to perform the oath of reenlistment, which I did many times over my career. I loved every one of those events. I still fondly remember the day I took command of my first company. Being a commander was very busy, but an amazing time. I loved jumping out of perfectly good airplanes. But I'd have to say the best memory I have, and I'm sure most of you married male veterans will be jealous and envious of this. I had the honor of having my wife salute me. I outranked her at the time, and when she tells the story, it was a very sunny day and the sun was behind me, so she didn't recognize me. She just saw the rank. And she'll add the general I was escorting was behind me and that the salute was meant for him. But I know. She saluted me. So I might have waited a little extra time before returning that salute To make her hold the salute maybe a few seconds longer than needed. So I have received a salute from my wife, which I bring up every so often, especially around anniversaries. So why are we here today? That's an easy one. To honor our veterans. Veterans Day started out being known as Armistice Day. It was a day to honor the cease of hostilities between the Allies and Germany in World War I. It commemorated the end of fighting on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Then in 1954, Congress passed a bill that proclaimed November 11th would be known as Veterans Day, recognizing all veterans. That was done back when our Congress could agree on something. Some people still ask, why do we need a military? That answer is very simple to me. Evil does exist. Combat veterans have seen it, sometimes up close and personal. Evil is not kept away by a circle, putting up signs, or calling a location a safe place. It's kept away by being heavily defended by the veterans and currently by the military personnel assigned around the world. They have all volunteered to defend you and me from any evil that will attempt to hurt us or diminish our rights. They do this not for any fanfare or expected parades. They do this because of a sense of duty and service to our great country. Veterans have all served. The importance of service is hard to explain. How do you define service? Well, Webster's Dictionary defines service as an act of helping or doing work for someone. In most cases, an act of service is for someone you know. But for veterans, we all took the oath to serve and defend our country against enemies, both foreign and domestic, not for people we know, sometimes not specifically for our country, but for our country's interest around the world. We've been sent around the world to defend what is good, to defend those who can't defend themselves. All veterans did this knowing that for us, the ultimate price for service is one's life, and that can never be taken for granted. I was extremely proud to serve. I know all the veterans who are here today will say the same thing. I was proud to serve with so many amazing men and women while on active duty, and I'm so humbled to be in the presence of this large group of veterans who are my brothers and sisters. Thanks for all you have done and given for this country. Our veterans are a special type of people, especially those who were called into combat and have seen things that should never have to be done or witnessed. A combat veteran comes back from combat different. There's no easy way to say that. We understand that life is precious and should never be taken for granted. Combat veterans don't normally share those stories unless we're with other combat veterans. I can't explain that, but that's just normally how it works. Like I stated earlier, my dad was a Vietnam combat veteran. He never shared any stories with me until I came home from my first combat tour. My first time seeing him after I came home, after all the hugs and welcome homes, he grabbed 2 beers and he took me out to the back deck, and we shared our stories and tears. It was one of the best experiences and memories with him. I say this to try and transition to the importance of families for veterans. Since I'm the one with the microphone right now, and on behalf of all the veterans here, thank you to the families. Thank you for keeping the family on track while we were gone for long hours, gone for weeks at a time for field exercises or missions, gone for a year or more during times of combat. There is no way a soldier can stay focused on their job if they're constantly worried about what is going on at home. The family is the unsung hero for all veterans. While I'm talking to the families, please don't get frustrated if your veteran doesn't share with you. It's not because they don't love you. There can be numerous reasons. Sometimes it might be because they don't want you to know what they did. It could be because they want to protect you. It might be because they don't want you to see them cry. Whatever the reason, if it's good enough for them, it has to be good enough for you. Again, please accept a heartfelt thank you on behalf of all the veterans. Now, I'd like to shift to speaking to the students here today. First off, thanks for attending this event honoring veterans. By a show of hands, are any of the students here today thinking about joining the military or have already joined? I know a couple of the color guard. There's one. Great. Let's give the ones who raised their hand a round of applause for answering the service. Our military may seem large, but based on the recent census numbers, only 7 to 10% of Americans have ever served in the military. Those that have raised their hand will become part of a small but proud number of Americans who can be called veterans. Hopefully, I still have the students' attention. To the students, before you know it, you'll be high school graduates. Some free words of advice are as follows. It is important to be a good follower, be able to listen and follow directions or orders. Always learn from your leaders. It might be what to do in the future or what not to do. You can always learn from watching a leader. In time, you might be a leader. When in charge, always do the right thing based on your morals and for the people you are leading. Do what is right whether you think someone is watching or not. Regardless of being in the military or not, look for a mentor. A good mentor will look for people they can mold and help improve their skills. When you have more experience, be willing to be a mentor for those who are new. If you have the opportunity to build a team, surround yourself with good, smart people. Great leaders are surrounded by great people. Last tidbits of advice for the students, read our history. It's not all perfect, but it's what made us what we are today. To the veterans here or watching on the live stream, I love all of you. If you are having problems coping with life or having issues concerning what you went through, please don't give up. We've lost too many veterans this way. We know the struggle is real. There are tons of organizations that are willing to help with trauma and PTSD. I'm a member of the Sheepdog Impact Assistance, and they have amazing programs free of charge. And there's other numerous programs out there that will also help. The American Legion, the VFW, the Wounded Warrior Project, I can go on and on. But if you are in need, please ask for help. If you know a veteran who is hurting, please tell someone. Don't be afraid to ask that tough question. Are you thinking about hurting yourself? And be prepared to help if they say yes. Every single one of you are too valuable to lose. Most of us veterans were happy and honored to serve this country. It was our job to shield and protect America, which we all dutifully did. But don't forget, evil is out there. All you have to do is watch the news. Be proud of what our great country has to offer. Don't take for granted the freedoms you have. Always remember the freedom and rights we have were fought for and must continue to be defended. Thank you all for attending today. God bless you all. God bless our soldiers, and please bring them home safely. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All gave some gave all. Some stood through for the red, white, and blue, and some had to fall. And if you ever think of me, think of all your liberties and recall some gave all. This is the GI job, man alive. It starts with the bluegill blowing reveille over your bed when you arrive. Jack, that's the GI job. Rudely toot, jump in your suit, make a salute. Voot.
The New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters.
when I was mustered out, I thought without a doubt my life was free from all my care and strife.
I thought that I was then
Hey.
the happiest of men, but after months of tough civilian life,
Here we go. Oh, gee, I wish I was back in the army. The army wasn't really bad at all. 3 meals a day, 3 for which you did not pay, and uniforms for winter, spring, and fall. There's a lot to be said for the army, a life without responsibility. A soldier out of luck was really never stuck. There's always someone higher up where he can pass the buck. Oh, gee, I wish I was back in the army.
He was a famous jumping man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. And then his number came up and he was gone in the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A root, a toot, a tootly attitude. He blows it 8 to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with them. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was some boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays this boogie woogie bugle, he was busy as a buzz bee. When he plays, he makes the company jump 8 to the bar. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A tootly-otta, tootly-otta, toot-toot, he plays it 8 to the bar. He can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with them. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He puts the boys to sleep with boogie every night and wakes them up the same way in the early bright. They clap their hands and stamp their feet because they know how he plays. When someone gives him a beat, he really shakes it up when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. Da 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 da. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
Many times in my life, I have heard the phrase, freedom is not free. You all know the phrase and know its truth personally. It comes to us at a costly price of sacrifice. It is one of the greatest sacrifices one can make. Because of your sacrifice, we owe each and every one of you a lifelong gratitude. You fought for us, you defended your beliefs of what makes this country great, you battled for us when times were tough, you pushed through the fog of war not knowing what could be on the other side, but most importantly, you kept Americans free. It isn't an easy task, but it is one that a veteran has done and should make you proud. I know that we are very thankful and proud of you. Because of you, the USA remains a free country, and through the sacrifice of those to come, will remain so for future generations. Freedom should never be taken for granted. We would like to say thank you all for your service. Without you, we would not be sitting in this room honoring all that you have done for us today. You are an inspiration to us all.
tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my family by my side. I thank my God above to be living here today, 'cause our flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. My God above. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
Behind every one of our service men and women are sons, daughters, husbands, wives, parents, children, friends, and relatives who have all also made sacrifices. We would like to ask all the family members who have supported our veterans to please stand at this time. Please accept our deepest gratitude and a special thank you. The Armed Forces Medley, also known as the Armed Forces Salute, is a collection of the official songs of the 5 branches of the United States Armed Forces.
At this time, we would like to salute all the men and women who have served in every branch of our armed services. We ask, as the video plays the Armed Forces Medley, we invite those of you who have served or who are currently serving to please stand and join in as your song is presented.
United States Air Force. United States Marine Corps. United States Coast Guard. United States Army. Thank you to our brave American men and women.
The first celebration using the term Veterans Day occurred in Birmingham, Alabama in 1947. Raymond Weeks, a World War II veteran, organized National Veterans Day, which included a parade and other festivities to honor all veterans. The event was held on November 11th, then designated Armistice Day. Later, U.S. Representative Edward Reese of Kansas proposed a bill that would change Armistice Day to Veterans Day. In 1954, Congress passed a bill that President Eisenhower signed proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day. There are now annual events celebrated nationwide, from parades, programs, and ceremonies. 1 week from Saturday, Veterans Day will be celebrated on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. During this time, we stop to thank our veterans, pray for our veterans, and most importantly, honor the brave men and women who are and who are continuing to serve for our country's freedom. One day is simply not enough. By raising your right hand, you promise to defend our Constitution, knowing that death may be the result. You went and gave it your all to keep freedom alive on our soil. You sacrificed everything, and we will honor you every day.
Good morning. It's my distinct pleasure to stand before you this morning and talk a little bit about our veterans. But before I do, if you will, let's give a big round of applause to everyone that was involved in planning this event this morning. On behalf of the Nettleton School District, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being a part of this special day. To our veterans who are in attendance today, a special thanks to you for putting yourself in harm's way to safeguard our freedoms. Over the course of the past 20 years, I've had the opportunity to meet hundreds of military veterans because of this program. Although each one has a different story, a different background, and a different path, there are commonalities shared by all: bravery, a willingness to serve and sacrifice for others, a love for our great country, a desire to serve. The list goes on, and I could stand here for hours and continue to list qualities of our great veterans. We owe all of our veterans a debt of gratitude, but more than that, we owe you our freedom. Thank you for bravely doing what you were called to do so we can safely do what we are free to do. And I'm going to kind of reiterate the words of Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Beaumont this morning. To those of you who have stood by a soldier's side during their active duty, thank you also. The sacrifices that you have made have been immeasurable, and I promise they have not gone unnoticed. My love for our country's veterans started at an early age because I grew up in a small community that was full of men who were willing to make the sacrifice that many of you have made today. One in particular was my high school history teacher, Mr. Herschel Brackenridge. Although we were several decades apart in age, we became close friends, particularly after I graduated from high school. Mr. B was a World War II veteran, and he served in several locations in the South Pacific from 1944 to 1945. The stories he shared with me are forever seared into my mind, and I know that many of you here today have similar stories. He always loved this program and attended every year and would share his stories with our students while he was here during those years. Throughout his life, I often tried to get him to allow me to recognize him for his service, but each time we talked, he would always say the same thing: I don't deserve any recognition because I was following in the footsteps of my older brothers and doing what I thought I needed to do at the time. That statement has been a common one that I've heard from our countless veterans over the years that I've had the pleasure of meeting and speaking with. Thank you so much for serving our country with a courage and dedication that most of us cannot even begin to comprehend. Ours is a country filled with promise for tomorrow because ours is a history shaped by heroes like you. Those who live in freedom will always be grateful to those who help preserve it. As you leave here today, I hope that you take fond memories home with you, and I hope you realize how thankful each and every one of us are for you, our veterans. It's your presence and your willingness to protect our freedoms and keep our nation safe from anyone with a desire to harm us that we are so thankful for. In his first inaugural address in January of 1981, President Ronald Reagan said it best: freedom is one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Thank you, veterans. For your service, your bravery, and your hard work, we thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice and the example you set for all of us each and every day. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Oh, how true. God bless America. The words couldn't have been stated any better. There's not much more than I can add or say to the veterans for your service. I was fortunate to have a father that served 24 years, but he was humble, he was honest, and he had integrity. And that's what veterans mean to me in so many ways. But what's more important as well, that we as a community of Jonesboro support our veterans. We have 15% of our police officers are veterans. It's important that we engage our veterans when they come back from serving our country in our community. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you, sir, for coming back to our home. This is the home for many, and we have to engage all. But we have the freedom to engage all. And that was because of the sacrifices that the men and women have provided before us. Thank you so much from the city of Jonesboro, Nettleton Schools, the youth, the educators, for taking this commitment. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and it's dedication, but you're passing that on to our youth. So I commend you all and say thank you from the city of Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas for your continued daily support of our veterans. God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor Copenhaver. Just a few more announcements before we are finished. Just a reminder of the Veterans Day Parade here in the city of Jonesboro. It will be on November the 11th at 10 a.m. downtown, so keep that in mind. Also, Wreaths Across America places wreaths with a red ribbon on veterans' graves every December, and they are needing volunteers this year to help with this. Again, on December the 16th, it's easy and heartwarming to be a part of this. Mr. Troy Ratcliffe, if you're here this morning, are you here? Okay. If you will just see him, he can give you more information and get you signed up for this so that you can be a part of this. Again, thank you. You want him to come up and speak? Absolutely.
Good morning. My name's Troy Ratliff, and not only am I a veteran, I'm a proud Nettleton Raider, class of 1965. So I just want to take a minute to talk to you about an organization in which I'm a volunteer. Last December, I had an opportunity to go to Pine Log Cemetery and help a group of people called Wreaths Across America, and we placed green wreaths with a red ribbon on literally hundreds of veterans' graves. And so this organization does this every December, and we will do this again December 16th, and we're always open for volunteers. So if you feel a need to do this, to help us with this, you can go to wreathsacrossamerica.org and sign up to volunteer. If you don't have an opportunity to do that, they'll also give you an opportunity to make a small donation toward buying a wreath for a veteran. So if you have any more questions about this, please feel free to see me afterwards. And as a veteran, again, thank you, Nettleton, for so much for doing this.
Thank you very much for coming this morning, and God bless each and every one of you.
We encourage you guys to take part in the refreshments outside in the lobby and visit and just do all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for coming. We appreciate you. God bless America.